They say home is where the heart is, but what happens when your own blood locks that heart away in the dark, cold basement of the very house you built with love? That night, when I heard the key turn from the other side, I didn't know it was the sound of betrayal echoing through everything I had ever trusted. Sometimes the people you raise are the ones who bury you alive, not in the ground, but in silence. I had lived in that house for 47 years. Every wall carried laughter. Every window remembered tears. I raised 3 children under that roof, and I thought they were my pride, my legacy, my forever. But forever has a cruel way of ending when greed walks through the door. Family isn't blood, it's loyalty that never sells you out. It started with whispers, talk about retirement, comfort, new beginnings. They said they wanted to help me, to take care of me, but their eyes didn't match their words. They didn't see a mother anymore. They saw a deed, a signature, a price tag. When love turns into paperwork, betrayal already has your pen in hand. The day they asked me to sign a few documents, I hesitated. Something in my heart screamed not to, but my youngest son held my hand and said, "Mom, don't you trust us?" And that's how trust dies quietly. Under the weight of guilt, some lies were a smile so soft you mistake it for love. That evening, I was told to rest downstairs while they handled things upstairs. I didn't suspect a thing until I heard the latch click. The sound froze my blood. I banged on the door, called their names, no answer, just footsteps, laughter, and papers shuffling above me. Nothing hurts more than hearing your own children celebrate your disappearance. Hours passed, the lights flickered, my knees ached on the concrete floor. I tried praying, but my voice cracked. I tried crying, but even my tears felt useless. Somewhere between begging and breaking, I realized something. They weren't coming back. Not tonight. Not as family. Silence can be louder than any scream when it comes from a broken heart. Morning sunlight slipped through the cracks, but it couldn't warm me. I could hear voices upstairs. Strangers. Not my children. They were talking about market value, closing deals, signatures confirmed. That's when I understood. The house I built wasn't mine anymore. You can lose your home long before you lose the roof above you. When they finally opened the basement door, they smiled like nothing had happened. They said, "It's all done. Mom, you'll be taken care of. Taken care of." Like an old piece of furniture nobody wants, but nobody throws away. I looked into their eyes and saw dollar signs. Where love used to live, the coldest betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from your own reflection in there. Eyes dot, they moved me to a small apartment across town. No garden, no memories, no echo of my husband's laughter. They said it was temporary, but I could feel permanence in their silence. That night, I held the keys they left me, keys that opened nothing I wanted. You can cage a body, but you can never lock away a mother's grief. Months passed. The house was gone, sold, renovated, new family moved in. They painted the walls, replaced the windows, erased me. But I drive by sometimes, sit across the street, and whisper to the walls I once called home. And I wonder if they can still hear me, the woman who built them, the mother who was locked below them. Some homes don't die, they just stop recognizing the hands that made them. Now, I live with peace, not people. I learned that blood isn't sacred, love is. And even though they sold my home, they can never sell my story, because my pain built more strength than their greed ever will. You can take everything from a mother, except her truth. The weeks after that betrayal were quiet, too quiet. Every sound felt like an echo from that basement. Every silence reminded me that I wasn't wanted anymore. I kept asking myself one question. How does a mother forgive her children for locking her away? Some questions aren't meant to be answered. They're meant to haunt. They visited sometimes. All smiles and empty words. They brought flowers, groceries, fake concern wrapped in shallow guilt. They thought kindness could erase cruelty, that a few soft words could patch up broken trust. But the eyes never forget the faces that watch the door close. You can buy forgiveness, but you can't buy peace. One day, I went back, not to fight, not to scream, just to see. The new owners were kind. They let me walk through what used to be mine. The air smelled different. The walls were painted white, but beneath it all, I could still feel time can change the color of a house, but not the scars in its foundation. I stopped in front of the basement door for a moment. I couldn't breathe. It was open now, full of light and boxes, no trace of what had happened there. But I saw myself sitting on that cold floor again, whispering prayers no one heard. Healing begins when you finally face the place that broke you that night. I sat outside on the curb watching the windows glow. I remembered birthdays, Christmases, late-night laughter, lullabies. I remembered being loved, or at least thinking I was, and that's when I realized maybe I didn't lose everything. Maybe I just lost the illusion of love. Sometimes losing everything is how you find the truth. The next morning, I packed what little I had and left the city. No note, no goodbye. Just a silent promise to never let pain define me again. I found a small house near the sea, quiet, peaceful, untouched by lies. And for the first time in years, I slept without fear of footsteps above me. Freedom doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers in the wind. Months passed, letters came, apologies that arrived too late to matter. They wanted forgiveness. Wanted me at family dinners again, but forgiveness isn't a door you knock on when guilt feels heavy. It's a bridge you build before it breaks. You can't return to a heart you once locked away. One afternoon, I received a letter from my youngest son. He wrote, "Mom, we lost everything. The money, the house, all of it." I read it twice, folded it neatly, and whispered, "Now you know what loss feels like." I didn't hate him. I just didn't feel anything at all. Karma doesn't hurry. It arrives right on time. Years later, people ask why I live alone. I tell them loneliness is better than betrayal that breathes. I spend my days writing, gardening, and talking to God, not asking for revenge, just for peace, because I've learned that not every wound bleeds. Some just stay quiet forever. Peace isn't the absence of pain, it's the acceptance of it. Now, when I look back, I don't see a victim. I see a woman who was buried but still grew. They took my home, my trust, my comfort, but they couldn't take my soul, because in losing everything, I found something unbreakable myself. You can't sell strength. It's born in the fire of betrayal. Moral of the story: sometimes blood doesn't make a family, love does. And sometimes the walls that witnessed your pain become the reason you build new ones stronger. Never let betrayal define you. Let it refine you.